What's up guys, welcome back to the We Play channel. New week, new esports transfers, so we hope you enjoy it. Today is the 9th episode of our show, but if you are yet to find out how Nico started playing CS, or what world record was set by Electronic, then make sure to watch the previous episodes.
You don't want to squab, you don't really want to mob, you don't want to know this when it comes to the ball. You ain't never tried, you ain't never grind to survive over time with the best.
Just like usual, we evaluate players in leadership, marketability, consistency, skills, and demand. Each parameter contains more than 20 small but important factors. That's how we make sure our numbers match the real transfer values of the players. Please welcome today's Esports Transfers hero, the Russian wonder kid, Dmitry sh1ro Sokolov. We could praise sh1ro for a very long time, tell you about his insane skill, crisp AWP flicks, and in-game intelligence, but let's just say this. sh1ro is a real contender for becoming the best player in the world. Imagine that, a 19-year-old who no one knew a few years ago can now dethrone such Counter-Strike giants as s1mple and Zywoo. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Over the past 12 months, Gambit and sh1ro have achieved incredible results, winning several huge online tournaments and taking first place in the HLTV World Rankings. Well, before we tell you a little about Dima's early youth, as has become a running theme in ET, we will reveal to you his transfer value. After secret research, we came to the conclusion that if you wanted to buy sh1ro today, you would have to fork out $1,750,000. Well now, let's take a quick look into the past, namely to Russia in the early 2000s. Dmitry sh1ro Sokolov was born on the 15th of July 2001 in the Russian city of Cheboksary. As a child, he didn't do anything out of the ordinary. He went to school, played computer games, and just casually prepared to become one of the best CSGO players in the world. Much like many players' discovery of Counter-Strike, sh1ro was introduced to the game at the age of 5 by a close relative, his uncle. Young Dima would spend hours playing CS 1.6 until in 2013 he discovered CSGO, which he picked up immediately. In hindsight, sh1ro's parents were pretty careless when it came to time he spent playing Counter-Strike. Luckily, they started to pay a bit more attention to their son's love for the game when Dima and his first team called Team 7 made it to the Russian Esports Championships in 2018 in Moscow. Although they required extra convincing when it came to traveling, so sh1ro's uncle had to stand by his side to ensure his participation at the upcoming minor events. What's interesting is that sh1ro also played Dota and even considered going pro, but eventually FPS felt more natural and played into his congenital skill set, and he decided that CSGO will be his primary game. At the beginning of his career, the teenager's goals were very simple, as he shared a target with many aspiring matchmaking players: to become global elite. After some grinding, this milestone was achieved and a new goal was set in the form of Faceit level 10. sh1ro would spend hours on end each day playing CSGO. Sometimes he played up to 16 hours, which was a clear sign of his dedication to the game. In one of the old interviews, sh1ro was asked whether he knew right away that he had a natural gift for the game and would make it in the professional scene. He mentioned that he simply dedicated every living hour to the game to improve, and that very few saw him as anything that would become great. In May of 2018, Team 7 was signed by Fluffy Gangsters before the finals of the Russian Esports Championship. This was the aforementioned event where sh1ro had to persuade his parents to allow him to travel, and the convincing definitely paid off as his team achieved a massive victory at the event, beating Dream Eaters in the grand final and are walking away with a solid $13,000 check. But soon after that fairy tale, their results began to decline, as they lost the closed qualifier for the CIS minor, so their hopes of participating in the Faceit major were smashed to smithereens. Fluffy Gangsters fell apart, but loyal friends sh1ro and Nafani stayed together to create the mixed team Valiye Pythoni, which translate from Russian as sluggish pythons. This mix didn't stick together for long enough to become a solid unit, but sh1ro remained focused and started to improve individually through playing in the CIS Pro League and watching top tier pros such as s1mple and JW. Train, eat, sleep, repeat. That was what his life looked like for 7 months straight till the April of 2019, where he was signed by Gambit in order to join their youngsters roster. Andre Blade Gorodensky was also added to the squad, and when asked about sh1ro, he stated, he demonstrated high skill level and game sense, but the most impressive aspect was sh1ro's understanding of the game, as he has been playing since the age of 5. Right now, he is playing CSGO parallel to his studies, and I am certain that if he goes full time and has a solid team with a good mentor, then in a year's time, he will be one of the best players in the world. And as always, it seems Blade was correct in his prophecy. For a year and a half, the squad of Gambit youngsters has changed several times, but the backbone of the team remained the same. sh1ro, Nafani and Intus have evolved together both in and out of game. Eventually, Axile and Hobbit joined them, after which the puzzle was completed, and in October of 2020, they reached their true form and became the main Gambit CSGO roster. Over the past 6 months, these 5 have turned the CS world upside down, and many fans are already calling this the beginning of the era of Gambit's dominance. sh1ro and co became champions of such tournaments as DreamHack Open November 2020, Blast Premier Spring Showdown 2021, and certainly the cherry on top that brought Gambit 400,000 in prize money, IEM Katowice 2021. At the moment, Gambit lead the world rankings according to HLTV, and the potential of sh1ro is so great that he is already called a direct competitor to Simple and Zywoo. And this is unimaginable, because just 2 years ago, no one knew about him. We are looking forward to the end of the pandemic, as it will be very interesting to see how good sh1ro is at LAN tournaments and majors. But for now, as we know more about Dima, let's see why he's worth $1,750,000. Leadership. As always, we distribute our players into tiers, from S to N, and sh1ro is no exception. We decided to put him into the elite S tier, considering the sudden success of Gambit. However, it wasn't easy to evaluate sh1ro's tier at the moment, since he does not have a stable and high quality career behind him just yet. The curbstone with medals for getting into the top 20 players is still empty in sh1ro's apartment because he hasn't been there yet. But as we said earlier, in 2021, he has a huge chance to become the king of the CSGO world rankings. Well, for now, let's enjoy how sh1ro's leadership transforms him into a Super Saiyan. They can't do anything to deny the plan, but they can stop them getting into aggressive positions, and kicking it off with a man advantage makes that another for Chopper, but sh1ro just going ham. 2 kills in response. He's looking for more, seems to be aware of his opponent and gets him through the corner of the carriage. Gives his team a real chance. There's still the flank coming, but it has to be all sh1ro. He needs to close this alone, and he might just do it. A 4th kill. He's looking for an ace. The man of 18 aces is going to get another in 2021. Unbelievable stuff from sh1ro. And oh my God, what a way to end the map. Based on the demos, our scouts rated his ability to take over the game with 93 points out of 100. For several episodes, we have not remembered the number of clutches won because our previous participants could not boast a large number of them. But with sh1ro, the situation is completely different. Over the last calendar year, the sniper of the Gambit team won 76 clutches 1v2. This number seems even more ridiculous when you look at the 2nd and 3rd placements, where BlameF is with 41 clutches and Simple, who has 20 successful clutches. Now take a look at one more of sh1ro's brilliant clips.
Catch Hobbit rotating up ramp on it.
Have to get past sh1ro. He doesn't have any help right now. If they deny him a kill, this is on for Na'Vi.
Misses his shot. Now the pressure starting to mount. High flashes in response, but Flamey's closed the gap.
Oh, what's that from sh1ro? A blind no-scope into the smoke, and he's got another. Just Simple. And the flicks are there as well. sh1ro, you're an animal. 4 frags from the AWPer. Takes gap.
Eventually, we rated sh1ro's leadership with 92 points out of 100. Let's move forward. Marketability. Let's jump ahead and give you a little insight. Of all the parameters by which we evaluated sh1ro, marketability is his biggest weakness. And it is not surprising, because Gambit and Dima climbed so rapidly to the top of CSGO that his media success simply did not keep the pace with the results. But rules are the same for everyone, and we will evaluate sh1ro's marketability within the first class S tier, It is worth noting that sh1ro does not play FACEIT Pro League for several reasons. The first is that his English is not at its best. And besides that, sh1ro loves structured team play and doesn't like people chasing frags, which often happens in FPL. His Twitch channel has 7,500 subscribers and 3 hours of live time in the last month. That's not much, but let's cut him some slack for Gambit's busy tournament schedule. Now onto Twitter and Instagram, where sh1ro has almost 15 and 12,000 followers respectively. In these social networks, Dima is pretty laconic. He either trades skins with Nafani or shows what a sweet kid he was. Generally, his growth rates are quite promising, and the media activity of Gambit helps a lot in this because they regularly post different entertaining content on their YouTube channel. But for now, his marketability is very far from perfect, as we rate it at 72 points out of 100. Consistency. As usual, our consistency parameter stands for in-game balance when the player controls his emotions in the crucial moments and also comes out with a good solo rating. Over the past 12 months, sh1ro has achieved incredible individual statistics such as a 1.27 rating and 76.9% CAS rating. He is just as impressive against top 10 teams with a 1.23 rating and 76.7% CAS rating, which is the best number in the world, even higher than Zywoo and Simple. Now let's enjoy sh1ro's consistency in this video when the timer is already against him.
Apart, Mitch. Everyone is finding frags on the trick side. It's all on sh1ro, gets the second. 20 seconds remain, and if he can find his frag in a pit, oh my god, he gets the wall bang. Needs to get the bomb very quickly though. 15 seconds, the last player coming up through short. It's Barup. He jumps up on the wall, spots him out, but doesn't hit it immediately. Pushes him back off though. A little bit of fear in the eyes of Barup right now as he wraps around and the bomb gets planted. He hears the footsteps. sh1ro, can he pull this off? A miraculous 1 versus 4.
Don't forget about loyalty as an additional factor of consistency. At the age of 19, Dima managed to play in 3 professional teams, 2 of which had the word Gambit in their names. In the current team, he did not even have time to spend even a year, but given the results of the Gambit squad, their love story could last for a very long time. And of course, do not forget about physical health, as it also plays an important role in life of professional esports players. From this clip, we hear sh1ro talking a little about a few health issues with his stomach.
А что у вас с армией?
Все хорошо у нас с армией.
Нет, я пока учусь, поэтому у меня с армией пока нет никаких проблем.
У меня проблемы с желудком, и поэтому я в армию не годен.
We really hope these issues will not affect Dima's performance and wish him the best of health in the future. In the end, considering that last year in CS was mainly about online, we rated sh1ro's consistency with 98 points. Now on to skills. In the skills parameter, we make conclusions that are based strictly on facts and numbers. So at the age of 19, sh1ro participated in 35 LAN maps. And so far in this factor, he has not the best win rate with 48.5% and a 1.16 solo rating. Let's summarize the skills parameter. Experience at playing LAN tournaments, 81. sh1ro did play at LAN tournaments, but on a completely different level, which usually was tier 2 and tier 3 CIS tournaments. Everyone from fans, teams, and Gambit themselves are eagerly awaiting the return of LAN tournaments to finally see what sh1ro and his team are capable of in what we call true tier 1 CS. Performances at minor/major tier. Dima has a real opportunity to write his name in the history by playing in the Stockholm Major in October, but so far this factor is empty. Our favorite scouts from Esports Transfers reviewed a lot of demos and based on them rated the versatility and education of sh1ro at 92 and 96 points respectively. Eventually we rated his skills with 90 points out of 100. Demand and mentions. Our concluding parameter determines how much the player is in demand among brands, media, sponsors, and other organizations. Let's be honest, despite the fact that Gambit is showing incredible results inside the game, it is clear that it is precisely the number of individual sponsors of sh1ro and the team that is lacking. Yes, the guys don't have a sufficient fan base, and games with their participation are gaining fewer viewers than, for example, Na'Vi, but the team is young, and their demand will grow in parallel with their achievements. In the end, given that sh1ro is a part of the strongest S tier, we rated his demand and mentions with 87 points out of 100. At the end of the day, sh1ro is only 19, and already at such a young age, he shows incredible in-game stability and mind-blowing highlights. Yes, he has a lot to work on to do his media activity and English knowledge, because who knows where he will play in the future. Add some FPL streams to the dish, some Instagram stories, tweets, memes, and highlights on LANs and majors, and it is quite possible that in a year sh1ro will be worth more than a Hokage simple. That's it for today. Thank you for watching Esports Transfers. We put an enormous amount of work into it, so if you enjoy what we do, leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.